Hello. How's it going? We're recording. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Anyways, so how's the week been? It's good. Yeah. What we have here is the latest addition to the enemy bunny family. This big dopey guy. He's a little bit droopy and he's a little bit silly, but he definitely adds a lot too. So anyways, things that are helpful for you guys first, guys and gals. Let's see. I was trying to get tracer fire set up for the guns, so when you shoot, you can actually get easier targeting without having an actual just laser pointer out there. So I was trying lots of different neat effects of like smoke traveling through the air and trying lots of different things to get tracer fire to work. But in the end, I needed to just keep it simple. And this isn't a ribbon particle emitter. This is just a regular particle emitter, and it just has a super high glow on its material. And the thing that's making it look like a tracer is just this size by speed. It's going really really fast. You know, it's traveling. Its initial velocity is 2,000 on Z, and then it's getting stretched out by quite a lot. So that seems to be the good amount in game. So when I shoot, the tracers fire out. So yeah, so on each gun shoot, it spawns one of these little emitters, and they go, and then it despawns itself. And so yeah, sometimes keep it simple. Next up, let's see. Don't have characters, but something. Oh yeah. So we changed the map so that behind the user, there used to be a spawn zone right over here around the backside. Yeah, right back there. There used to be a spawn for bunnies, but a thing with VR, especially if you have wires, you don't want people to get tangled up, and also people get disorientated if they spend too much. So most all the action comes from over here and right down those. However, the bunnies can still fall behind the character over here in this area, but for the most part, they're all going to be coming from over here. That keeps the user fighting this way and this way and this way, and only occasionally going, oh, something's behind me. So it keeps them from getting tangled up and keeps them pointed one direction for the most, or within a certain area instead of always spinning, because there's sometimes enemies behind them. Now it's rarely that there's enemies behind them. Let's see. I tried adding a UI to the controllers. I guess I took it off already. So when I did that, it didn't quite work out. It didn't look good. So it's another good example of keep it simple. So instead, it's going to be like you're driving a little of a fighting robot or something. I don't know. We'll work on the plot later. But there's a visor. I put in this little dome. When you're in the game, it looks and feels kind of like you have a visor up here that's got a HUD that's got your score and such on it, because that's what military or police stuff has, is scores. I'm glad it doesn't. So let's see. So yeah, again, tried to put the HUD on the weapons. Didn't work out so good for this game's purposes, so they're just on a visor, which is just a little thing attached to the character here. So yeah, there's the HUD right there, and then there's the visor. You can kind of almost see it, but not quite. So anywho, next up, getting ragdoll to work on the bunnies. So I brought these guys back in, minus their feet. They just kind of hop around, and they got ragdoll going on. But in order to get their ragdoll functioning on the skeletal mesh, so they're actually a skeletal mesh underneath a skeletal mesh. I know it's terribly wasteful, but this one is just a box, and this one controls the motion, or this one actually. Anywho, so over here in order to get their physics to actually activate and function the way I wanted it to, I had to come down to this collision part and say collision enabled physics no query collision. So what that's doing is on every frame it's checking with the physics engine, and it's a roundabout way of checking your physics on every or all the time, rather than directly saying, "Hey, you're a physics ragdoll thing. Go physics and ragdoll." You're just telling it to query something that's forcing it to run physics all the time. And the part that enables their physics is should be here we go. So it just says apply physics animations to the skeletal ragdoll mesh. What's it called? Set all bodies below to simulate physics, and the bone is base. So my second to bottom bone is called base. So everything below base will go ragdoll. And then start a new simulation is checked and include yourself. And here's the values I pumped in, depending on the size of the things that you're doing ragdoll with. It will still yeah, okay, it will change. So that's entirely up to y'all. And also with the bone, same. You just gotta make sure to set which bone is yours. The bunnies, where is it? Physics. Yeah, here's the physics character. Oh, or is this the big one? That's the big one. Derp. I want the little one. Mesh and skeleton physics asset. Here we are. So this is the little guys. You can see I shrunk these little things down, and so when we say simulate, come back. What was it? Shift right click. There we go. Yeah, it's a good, decent little thing. And you just, whenever you go to set up a physics character, you got to make sure to, set your constraints on each of these to, only rotate so much, and set the bodies to have some angular dampening over here, and then they'll behave themselves. So next thing, however, showed you the ragdoll, and then show made force not active. So I think that's here. Okay, yeah. The next thing this was useful is so the big bunnies in the game, they are, and actually you guys might be able to help me out with a better way of doing this. Is the big bunnies, the new enemies, they're big. So I wanted the guns to not have any effect on them, because the little ones you shoot, they go flying. The big one's too big. You shouldn't be able to move it. So what I have right here is, this is when a bullet gets shot and it spawns particles and here's where it runs the line trace. And then after it runs the line trace, first it checks to see everything it hit to see if one of them is a big bunny. And then if it is a big bunny, spawn a explosion without a radial force. And if it's not a big bunny, then spawn an explosion with a radial force. So that's how I handled that. I know there is a way to get radial forces and physics to include or disinclude objects, but I was unable to figure out how to do that. So I could have had a radial force, say, affect everything but the big bunnies. But I, again, couldn't seem to get that to work, so I just had it check to see if it's a big bunny, and if it is, then ignore it, or spawn a radial force that doesn't have, spawn an explosion that doesn't actually have a physical radial force. Yeah. So that's how I handled that, which is, yeah, how's it go? If it hits something, come in, get the actors it hit, and then do a for each loop of all the things that it hit. If this is a singular thing, which it is, I don't need to do a for loop here. But just pretend with me. So it goes through each of the things that it hits, and it says, hey, this hit actor is this guy. Oh, is there something actually hit? I think. Anyways, and if it's a hit actor, then set it to Big Bunny. Anyways, yeah. Check to see what you hit, and if you hit something, see if you want what type of explosion you want to do. That's what's going on there. Sometimes you get lost in your own spaghetti. And then there was what? It should be a bumper sticker. So now there's the Big Bunny. Was this his impact zone? No. Oh golly. Oh yes. So here's a very important part of the Big Bunny. When he jumps, he has to land and make a big impact and make everything around him bounce. And there's a lot of feel to that it adds to the game. So what we got going on is it's the same as the bunny stuff we've been over before. A little bug fix for ragdoll. Get the actor you want to move to and the one you want to attack. Set a physical animation. Make it have sounds for stepping forward. Apply physics rotation. Oh, that's another thing I added. I'll have to go back and show you is the little guys when they get shot up into the air, they get a angular motor spin set on them. Anyways, and then here spawn dust particles. And the way the dust particles work is actually for a few things. I need to rename the function to not just be dust particles. But anyways, what it does is first it checks to see has the bunny jumped. And a different function in the event graph is down there, hop hop hop, this right here. So every 0.9 seconds it does a jump, and inside that random jump at the end of it says set has jump to on. And then over here under activate dust particles, first it says have you jumped. So it says okay, if you've jumped you're going up, and then we want to get ready to start or get ready to be able to emit a particle. And then it's going through the air and it's checking this stuff every once in a while. It's saying have you cleared height also. So if you have cleared a certain height, then have cleared height will be on. And if it is on, then you can bypass this part and proceed along. But if it's not, then what I'm doing is I'm saying, hey, is it above a certain height? So if it is above if it's already gone, I'm above a certain height, then it moves right along. If it says, I haven't been above a certain height, well, see if you are. So we're heading up into the air, and it checks to see, is it above a certain height? Says yes, okay, then set height has cleared. And, that's what that does there. So, anyways, and then has back to ground. Ken has cheeseburger. My verbiage is wonderful. Has back to ground means has it, since it has jumped and it has cleared a height, now it's trying to see if it is coming back down. So that's what this does right here is it checks the height and to see if it has gone up. Next, see if you have come back down. And that's this part. So has it hit the ground? True. Proceed right along. If not, check if you have come back down. If you're below 30. And if you are below 30, then set has come back to the ground. Now this part right here is because if you have taken off, have gone into the air, and have come back down, make sure that if you already have done the things and spawned an emitter that is the end result of all this, if you have already done that once, delete the old emitter and the old actor. But anyways, that's what this little section is. And so anyways, if there's a previous one, delete the old one. But moving right along. Once it has come back down and it knows it hit the ground, then it says spawn a impact. So that's what this is doing. Oh, and here's leftovers. I was trying to use velocity on some things, which was unnecessary. So anyways, once it goes, oh, I've hit the ground again, then it will spawn a Big Bunny impact, which is this guy? Yeah. This guy makes a sound. He has a particle system that blows particles around. And also, what it does also is it looks around the area where the Big Bunny landed and gets everything that happens to be, it does a multi-sphere trace in the area to see what is in that zone where it just hit, and then check everything and anything that's a bunny, then make it do a quick jump. And so any bunnies nearby, when it hits the ground, will go poop and get launched up into the air for kind of a secondary cool effect. So anyways, back to this thing. Once it's spawned those particles and that impact, then it sets a previous bunny impact, just a placeholder for this object that it spawned. And then it resets all the variables. Has jump to off, has cleared height to jump, has back to ground to jump. I mean to blah blah blah. Has back to ground to off. And then it does a quick little camera shake. Something you're not supposed to do in VR, but it's really subtle. Like super subtle. So, yeah, if the Big Bunny is going doosh, doosh, the camera goes just barely perceptible amount, so that it adds kind of to the overall effect of this big giant one lumbering down. And then what else? Let's see if I can quickly find the part where it adds the spin. I think it's in here. Apply physics rotation. Set world rotation. Yeah. I'll probably not be able to find it. But anyways, in the little bunnies also, when they get shot up now, when they're above a certain height, they get a an angular motor impulse on their physics. So when they fly up, they'll also randomly get spun in some direction, making kind of a cooler explosion thing. So let's see. That's pretty much everything I got to hopefully helpful hints for you guys. A question for all of you is, I still can't get it so that the preview window, when I hit VR preview here, it's still small, and I don't like it small. I would like it to be wider, but I don't know where those settings are. So if anybody can help me out, that would be greatly appreciated. Also, yeah. Oh, if anybody knows where a good tutorial for making, so if you got a world of physics objects and you want one impulse to only affect certain things, how to go about including or disincluding objects. That would be super helpful. So yeah, hopefully that was all helpful for you guys. But without further ado, I'll show you what I have done, which has been quite a lot. We got a good amount done. So let's see here. I'll get at least one of my guns active, and I'll probably have to turn myself on invincible so that I can survive, because it's gotten a little bit chaotic. I have some definite notes to be addressed to make it less chaotic. So let's see. Yeah. All right. And here we go. So here's one group. There's their light. And then try to take care of all of them. And then you can see the score on the visor up top. Oh, and there's the next pack. Oh, and that one spawned a bunny. Oh, looks like my camera shake might be a little too much. But here he comes. See, every time he stomp, see the camera shake? Yeah, that's too much. But anyways, every time he stomps, all the little ones get thrown all around. And he is just big and painful, and he explodes really big. But oh geez. There we go. But yeah, these little guys, they kind of fly at you and so yeah, you kind of get the idea of how it becomes overwhelming just a bit. But yeah, the little guys, they kind of flap around and they got ragdoll on their ears. They just kind of flippity floppity. And the big guy, is there a big one nearby? No. Well, yeah, well. The big guy, he's kind of dopey looking, and he kind of does this as he goes along. And I actually had to write that in. What I do, I told it to detect the trajectory that it's kind of wobbling, get the velocity of one of the center physics body parts. Where is it? That's the little one. That's the big one. And his physical asset. Yeah, so I said it basically so this guy, this middle one here, it detects what its acceleration is in a certain direction, or just basically detects its direction, and then it kind of keeps pushing in that direction. But once it hits the end, it's going to automatically, because of physics, kind of bounce back the other way, and then the trajectory is going the other way, so it's going to automatically kind of keep pushing things back and forth, so it ends up with that lumbering kind of motion going on. So yeah, I made quite a bit of progress. Got the tracer fire going on. Got the level change to help facilitate the user's fun a little bit better. Got the helmet visor made, and then made a new UI on the guns, and then got rid of it because it was dumb. Let's see. Got bunnies. Yeah, here I'll show you their roll real quick. Let me see if I can find some. So yeah, watch when they go into the air. See how they kind of go. They go spinning out of control. Yeah, and that's like that. So that's written in on purpose, and I'll show you kind of how they move regularly without being shot at. So here they come, and you can kind of see they lean towards you a little bit while they flippity flop around, and they try to slowly get here. And as long as you don't get them angry, you know, you'll kind of be okay picking out a group at a given moment. But then when they get too close, then everything starts to go haywire. Added bigger blood. Yeah, it's just a lot of stuff. So it's coming along. Next up is a lot of little refinements. Want to make it so when they get shot through the air, they go wee! And hopefully I didn't blow out anybody's ears. Yeah. A lot of different stuff. A lot of little notes coming up. But hopefully the notes in the beginning were helpful to y'all. And hopefully someone can tell me how to change the render setting size. Hopefully your week was well. We went to Catalina, which was awesome. Yeah, happy holidays. Hope everybody else is having fun with their projects out there, and thank you everybody who's watching. I mean, it's way more than I had thought, and it's really cool. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate it, and I will be carrying this all the way through to finish, no matter what. So yeah, hopefully soon I'll be through the prototype mechanics, and then can get on to putting together the actual game, which is almost like the prototype of this is almost going to be the actual game. And then it'll be, making it look pretty and getting it out there. So anyways, thank you all for watching, and hope your week is shiny, and I'll see you in a week. Peace.